Welcome to the story of the Cleveland Krishna. Right now, you should be seeing our title screen particleize into moving dots and be hearing the sound of a Cambodian flute. And now we present the story of the Cleveland Krishna.
I am Krishna, the miracle-performing, flute-playing god from India. Long ago, my legend traveled across the seas to Cambodia, where artists of astonishing skill carved my image in 2 stone sculptures, larger than life-size. Today, I will show you the story of how one of them reached Cleveland, Ohio. The sound of my flute will guide you between 5 different stations, each 90 seconds long. Let's go! Walk with the sound of my flute to Cambodia, where the story begins. Here in southern Cambodia, a small sacred mountain with 2 peaks rises out of the floodplains. Today, it is known as Phnom Da, or Stone Mountain. 1500 years ago, some of my devotees set 2 sculptures of me into cave temples, halfway up the slope. They are broken now, but they show me in the posture of holding up a mountain, which is something I did when I was 8 years old. Why did I do that? Well, it was like this. A raging storm was destroying our village. I lifted up the nearby hill called Mount Govardhan and held it like a great umbrella. This is the first time my people realized that I am more than just a special kid. They saw me as an incarnation of God. The sculptures show me holding up Phnom Da itself, just like I held Mount Govardhan. Also on Phnom Da were 6 other magnificent sculptures depicting some of my divine relations, including Balarama, Rama, Harihara, and Vishnu. Priests invited us to inhabit those inspired forms to bless and protect the land. After 700 years, our followers came less often, and then not at all. So we quit those sculptures, and soon they were pushed over, probably to get to the consecration treasure under the pedestals. The sculptures lay broken for centuries. Then, around 1910, a big section of one of my sculptures was taken far away. Follow the sound of my flute, and I'll show you where it went. After a long voyage to France, a Parisian collector put it up for auction in Amsterdam in June of 1920.
Going once, going twice, sold to Suzanne and Adolphe Stockley for £120,000.
That would be about 800,000 US dollars today. The Stockleys were banking and railway magnates as well as collectors and patrons of the arts. They brought the piece to Stockley Palace, their Art Nouveau mansion in Brussels, Belgium. Look inside and see where they put it. There it is, center stage in their private home theater and music hall. In those days, no one knew why one arm was raised. They thought it was an image of a dancing prince. Turn and look over here. Crates arrived from Cambodia, from Phnom Da itself. Let's see what's inside. They are full of sandstone fragments. An arm, another arm, and another, and these must be leg fragments. Count them. 1, 2, 3 thighs, and 1, 2, 3 shins. Here are 2 feet on a base with a sturdy tenon and a backing plate. And here's another slab with my hand. The Stockleys believed these fragments could complete the figure of their beautiful dancing prince. Let's head over to the villa next door, where they worked on reassembling the sculpture. Follow the sound of my flute to see what they did next. Here we are at the home of a sculptor who helped the Stockleys move the pieces around. First, they lined up the upper and lower slabs. Then they added the body section, setting the broken pieces together. Now to connect the body to the feet. And then this? Do the legs and torso belong together or not?
There's a definite lack of proportion between the torso and the hips. When the lower part is fitted together, it throws the torso off balance.
Mrs. Stockley made them put it back on the stage the way it was. Soon, new owners moved into the villa. They buried the fragments in the backyard to support a new underground water tank. And they were all but forgotten for 40 years. Until 1973, when the Cleveland Museum of Art bought my sculpture from the Stockley estate. The Cleveland curator, Dr. Stanislaw Chuma, had read about the fragments and decided to find them. After many months, he figured out where they were and convinced the owners to allow him to dig up their garden. With the help of the Stockley gardeners, they excavated all 17 fragments. Then, they brought them to Cleveland to try again to attach them to the body. Come, we have another ocean to cross. Welcome to my beautiful sculpture's latest home. When the fragments arrived in Cleveland, the conservators had no access to anyone in Cambodia. The Khmer Rouge regime had severed communications.
The curator and conservators worked very hard to make a beautiful restoration that was as complete as possible. We tried several times to give the unused pieces to the National Museum, but it wasn't until 2005 that they could be sent back safely.
Back in 1944, the broken body and head section of my other sculpture in Phnom Penh was taken to the majestic National Museum of Cambodia in Phnom Penh. A number of the fragments were attached onto the Phnom Penh figure. But when Bertrand Port saw photos of the back of the Cleveland Krishna for the first time, he understood that the upper stele with hand must go with the Cleveland piece. There's no corresponding break on the back of the Phnom Penh sculpture. The whole body would have to be repositioned. When the repair material was removed, they were shocked to see that the entire lower section fit on the body in Phnom Penh. The remaining lower leg piece then went back to Cleveland. They did it. Now they could understand how my devotees would have seen these great sculptures when I inhabited them on Phnom Penh. Come with me, back to my sacred mountain. This is one of the cave temples halfway up the mountain on Phnom Penh. It still has the remains of the original stone facade and doorway, though the brick structure in front is gone. Please come inside. This is how they think it used to be 1500 years ago. My sculpture, dark and shining once again, holding up the mountain with no missing pieces. I invite you now to feel what the villagers felt then, when they lived and played with me and enjoyed my protection. Look how they would have poured purified waters over my form to honor me in rituals. Please, feel free to walk all the way around. The thought of re-inhabiting this sculpture gives me such joy. This is where I must leave you, but only by appearances. Because remember, I am eternal, no matter what becomes of my image.
It is now time to exit the HoloLens experience and return your headset. Then, Please proceed to the gallery to see the Cleveland Krishna itself, on view with the other gods of Phnom Da. Thank you.